In the center of ancient Rome, where power and politics intertwined like vines on a trellis, there lived a woman whose story challenged the very constraints of her era. Imagine a world where every gesture and whispered word could alter the course of destiny. A world where women were often relegated to mere chess pieces in the grand game of empires. Yet, in this setting, one woman stood apart, armed not with sword and shield, but with an indomitable spirit and a philosophy that would resonate through the ages. This, dear viewers, is the tale of Portia Cato. The year is 44 BCE. Rome quakes under the growing shadow of Julius Caesar's ambition. Amidst marble columns and whispered conspiracies, a figure moves with quiet determination. She is Portia Cato, daughter of the renowned Stoic philosopher Cato the Younger, wife of Marcus Brutus, and a formidable force in her own right. However, Portia was much more than just her prominent connections. In an era that aimed to silence women, she became the living embodiment of Stoic principles, a philosophy often misunderstood today. Now you might be thinking, Stoicism, isn't that just for old privileged men? Let me assure you, nothing could be further from the truth. At its core, Stoicism is a universal philosophy, a beacon of wisdom that transcends gender, race, and social standing. It's a way of life embraced by people of all backgrounds throughout history and continues to inspire individuals from every walk of life today. Portia's story dismantles these misconceptions, demonstrating that Stoicism is not about emotionless endurance, but about discovering inner strength amidst adversity. It's about standing firm in your convictions when the world tries to shake you, and recognizing the inherent worth and potential in every person, regardless of gender or social status. So I ask you, have you ever felt society's expectations crushing your dreams? Have you ever longed to find your voice in a world that seems determined to drown it out? If so, you need to hear about Portia's journey. Over the next 40 minutes, we will delve into the life of this remarkable woman, exploring how she navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics, found equality in marriage during an age of inequality, and displayed strength in ways that continue to astonish us today. But this isn't merely a history lesson. We will uncover how Portia's ancient wisdom can illuminate our modern lives. We'll learn to cultivate resilience, value our self-worth beyond societal expectations, and love fearlessly in a world that often seems devoid of courage. So prepare yourselves, dear viewers. We're about to embark on a journey through time that will challenge your preconceptions, inspire your spirit, and transform how you see yourself and the world around you. This is the story of Portia Cato, the Stoic superwoman who defied an empire. By the end of this video, you'll understand why her legacy continues to resonate and inspire people of all genders and backgrounds. Are you ready to meet Portia and discover the true, inclusive spirit of Stoicism? Then let our journey begin. Chapter 2: First Marriage and Social Expectations. Let's step back and examine Portia Cato's origins. Born around 70 BCE, Portia grew up in a rapidly changing world. Rome was mighty but fraught with conflict and notable figures. Her father, Cato the Younger, wasn't just any Roman. He was a prominent figure known for his unwavering honesty and adherence to principles. Cato was a Stoic philosopher, a belief system that emphasizes focusing on what one can control and not worrying about the rest. Growing up with a father like Cato meant that Portia wasn't raised like most Roman girls. Instead of merely learning to be a good wife, she was taught to think independently and to be courageous. Cato's ideas about honor and doing the right thing profoundly influenced how Portia perceived the world. You might wonder, that's all well and good, but how does this relate to me? The way we grow up and the people around us all leave an imprint, just as Cato's ideas shaped Portia. Reflect on the values you learned growing up and how they affect your worldview. Portia embraced Stoic principles, understanding that true strength comes from within, not from external validation. She learned that while you can't always control events, you can control your reactions. As Marcus Aurelius, another renowned Stoic, said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Portia's soul was dyed with courage, integrity, and fierce independence. But don't assume Portia's life was easy. Being a woman in ancient Rome was no walk in the park. Women had few rights and were expected to conform. However, Portia had different plans. As we explore her story, remember how she utilized her upbringing to face daunting challenges. It serves as a reminder that no matter our origins or teachings, we have the power to shape our paths. Are you ready to see how Portia used her unique upbringing to challenge the norms of ancient Rome? Let's move on to the next chapter of her extraordinary story. Chapter 3. Portia and Brutus, a marriage of equals. Let's delve into a love story that could rival even Shakespeare's best. After enduring tough times, you might think Portia would be disillusioned with marriage, but life had other plans for her in the form of Marcus Junius Brutus. Brutus wasn't just any Roman. He was intelligent, respected, and like Portia, passionate about philosophy. And intriguingly, he was also Portia's first cousin. While this might sound unusual to us, cousin marriages were not uncommon back then. What made Brutus and Portia's marriage stand out was that it wasn't merely a political arrangement. They genuinely liked each other. In an era when most marriages were about power and alliances, Brutus and Portia found real love and mutual respect. Brutus saw Portia as an equal, which was rare at the time. He admired her intelligence and strength, and Portia appreciated Brutus for who he was, not just for his family connections. As another Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Portia and Brutus seemed to live by this principle. They supported each other while also challenging one another to be better. Their marriage wasn't solely about affection. They were partners in all aspects, including politics. Brutus often consulted Portia on important matters, valuing her insight, a revolutionary move for the time. Think about your own relationships for a moment. Do you have someone who truly sees you as an equal and values your opinions, even if they differ from their own? That's the kind of partnership Portia and Brutus had. However, their marriage faced challenges amid significant political upheaval in Rome. Brutus was deeply involved in these turbulent times, and Portia stood by him, facing difficult decisions together. One famous story highlights their deep trust. During a dangerous political plot, Brutus was visibly stressed. Portia, determined to prove her strength and ability to handle secrets, took a knife and cut her thigh. Brutus was astonished by her fortitude and chose to confide in her about the conspiracy against Caesar. While I'm not suggesting you harm yourself to prove a point, this story illustrates Portia's dedication to her husband and her desire to be a faithful partner through both good and bad times. Portia and Brutus's marriage teaches us about strong partnerships based on mutual respect, shared values, and unwavering support. In a world that often told women to be silent and stay in the background, Portia and Brutus demonstrated that a marriage of equals could be both powerful and beautiful. As our story unfolds, we'll see how this robust partnership faced some of the most significant events in Roman history. Are you ready to see how Portia and Brutus tackled these challenges together? Let's move on to the next chapter. Chapter 4. Practicing Hardship and Resilience. Let's delve into one of the most fascinating aspects of Portia's life, her remarkable resilience and how she applied Stoic principles in real-life situations. Remember the story I mentioned earlier about Portia cutting her thigh? It's time to explore it further. This act wasn't a random gesture of self-harm, but a deliberate demonstration of Portia's strength and her commitment to Stoic ideals. Picture this. It's 44 BCE, and Rome is in chaos. Julius Caesar has declared himself dictator, and a group of senators, including Brutus, are plotting something significant. Brutus is stressed and distracted, and Portia senses something is amiss. Instead of simply asking him about it, she decides to prove her ability to handle whatever secret he's keeping. So, she takes a small knife and deliberately cuts her thigh. This was not an act of desperation, but a calculated move to demonstrate her mental and physical resilience. When Brutus discovers what she has done, he is astounded by her strength. Portia explains that she wanted to show she could endure pain and keep secrets, which convinces Brutus to share the conspiracy details with her. This story is not an example of extreme behavior, but illustrates how Portia practiced a core Stoic principle, willingly embracing discomfort to build mental strength. As another Stoic philosopher, Seneca, said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By confronting physical pain directly, Portia proved to herself and Brutus that she could handle whatever challenges came her way. But Portia's resilience was not limited to physical pain. Throughout her life, she faced numerous hardships, including the loss of her father to suicide, her first husband to war, and endured turbulent political times. Yet she remained steadfast in her principles. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on philosophy, personal growth, and living wisely.